Logs lighting up here. Feeds electric on the scroll. Down, tech reflected. Feel the code. Now you're being directed. Frank's world on your screen. I'm never alone. Insights in a stream. In the digital zone. Frank's world on your screen. I'm never alone. Insights in a stream. In the digital zone.
Well, hello, LinkedIn, X, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. My name is Frank Lavinia, and you can catch me at the following URLs: franksworld.com, datadriven.tv, and the newly relaunched Impact Quantum podcast. In fact, I am proud to announce that we are rated the number 5 quantum computing podcast. According to, let me see if I can find the feed spot. Actually, hang on. Quantum. Bear with me. On podcast. Speaking of quantum computing, there we go. It has been an active, and I do say active, week in the quantum space. It's very nice to see kind of some of my intuition be validated. Surely you've heard of the news about Microsoft's quantum chip. IBM's made some amazing announcements with theirs. And of course, Willow was the big news in December. So we are very quickly coming to the point where quantum computing is not only going to be real, because it's already real, but practical and real in everyday IT. So with that in mind, let's take a look here. If you go to FeedSpot, Quantum Computing Podcasts, you will find, although they are using the old logo, you will find Impact Quantum. And big kudos to Candace Kahuli for inspiring me to relaunch the podcast a couple months ago. We've been talking about it for a while. But I'm very happy to see it get traction. It does help that Data Driven has been around for a number of years, so it's a lot easier to start up a second podcast than it is to start from zero. Let's see. So, as promised, speaking of Candace, you can check out the book she and I wrote together now at this fancy new price. You can scan that QR code at your leisure. We are working on a second edition, so don't say I didn't warn you. So first off, the title of this is Unboxing a MoCA Connector Network. So this house I live in was built in the late 90s, early 2000s. So they had the good sense to wire it up for telephone and coaxial, but it was not wired for Ethernet. And it's a fairly large house. I swear I'm not flexing, although I do have my NASA hoodie on. It was not built with Ethernet in mind. And while before we moved in, we had contemplated getting an electrician or somebody to kind of run Ethernet throughout the house. The cost of that and the cost of the drywall repair just really wasn't practical. And as luck would have it, we were able to get a mesh network kind of set up and really solve the problem with the router being behind me here in the basement, getting to the far end of the house, a couple of floors away. So really not a problem. However, lately, I'm not sure what it is, whether it's radio interference or microwave or something going on, a firmware update that didn't kind of land well. My wife's home office will occasionally have terrible connectivity. It should be in the 70 to 120 megabit space, but it has at times dropped down to 1 megabit up or less than that down, which again, not really kind of the gigabit service we were promised. So as luck would have it, or the algorithms would have it, I saw an ad or a story on an adapter for something called a MoCA adapter. And let's see, MoCA adapter. Here we go. And let me share my tab again. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I'm a big believer in wired connectivity. And oops. So what you're seeing here is, I think this might be the one I bought. Yeah, it's the one I got. I think it came in while I was in Vegas. Anyway, this here is basically two devices that you can, according to this, get 2.5 gigabit over it, and basically use the existing coaxial connectivity in the house and get a wired connection between point A and point B. So that's why I got it. I haven't installed yet, still in the box. And I figured, why not? I haven't opened it and I haven't done an unboxing video in a while. And I see I have a chat message. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So this is what the package is. So the goal is to take the coaxial from either this room or the next room and get it to the far end of the house. So to that in mind, so you basically get these two units, which are encased in plastic, and power, Ethernet, and coaxial. So it'll use the coaxial cable in the house. And what I'm really curious about is, could I activate and light up every coaxial port in the house? Because when they built this house, I think every room in the house has some kind of coaxial connection, with the exception of the bathrooms and the kitchen. So theoretically, I could do that. So good thing we didn't rip them out. I did rip out one coax jack and replaced it with an Ethernet because it was straight line through. One of the things, if you look here in the little documentation, is, and let me know if any network geniuses are on my network or in the watch kind of here, is it claims that I'll be able to put a mesh network node on the other end of it, which the way I interpreted the instructions, if I put two mesh networks that had an uplink to the actual network, that it would basically freak out and not blow up, but basically crash and burn. That's the impression I got. But again, I'm not really a networking engineer. I know just enough to be dangerous. And I started my career wiring up Ethernet on Wall Street back in the day, and doing IP settings manually before the advent of DHCP. So I do know enough to get started, but not really my forte. All right, so with that in mind, I got to figure out, this is the first step I got to do, right? Obviously unbox it. So here's the two nodes. So this would be the broadcaster and this would be the receiver, or vice versa. They're pretty much the same. So basically, from what I gather, it's going to convert the coaxial as a medium, a transport layer, to be the mechanism to send Ethernet signals over, which is awesome because it's going to save me a ton of money and a ton of hassle because I don't have to rewire the house for Ethernet. Very useful. Let's go here and we will see what else is included in the box. First off, I don't have quite the coaxial cable collection that I used to, but it does come with the requisite coaxial cables. Presumably these are going to be quality grade to make it work, because I do know that is a thing. And here is the power adapters. Here are the power adapters. There you go. And it comes with Ethernet cables. It also does have a set of instructions on how to set it up and how to get it going. So let's see. So this claims to connect to my router. That's interesting. Modem router. Show what that means. I have every intention of just scanning the QR code and watching the install videos, but basically the plan is I'm not going to connect this to my router because I'm already on a cable connection. And I don't think it has an outbound cable. So my plan is just on the other side of this wall here is where the coaxial wires all come together. I just have to isolate which one is the one for the room I'm headed to. And there's a fun little trick to do that actually. If you have, I don't have my multimeter here, but basically the multimeter, you put a little piece of tinfoil on one of the, probably do it on one of these wires, and you put it on that, and then you basically test each one until you get a beep saying that there's connectivity between the two, assuming we haven't knocked out any walls between here and there since moving in. And it should beep and tell me which is the outlet wire I have. And I've done that before actually when I moved my office into here. And I'll be able to know exactly. Put a little bit of tinfoil here. For you kids today, you've never seen coaxial cable. This is what it looks like. If memory serves, my dad was a electronics technician. He used to play with these all the time. If memory serves, this is called an F connector, and you basically wedge a little bit of tinfoil to complete the connection. And on the other end, you use your multimeter probe, and you set the dial to be the connectivity, and basically you test each wire. Sure beats the tried and true. You'll know right away as opposed to setting this up. That's how I was able to connect. I moved my office a couple of times because that's what we do. And I moved the cable modem from one thing here to here, so I didn't have to drill any holes in the wall or have an unsightly cable looped over the door to the backyard. So got that going, and I'm very excited about getting this set up because my wife, she does work from home for the foreseeable future, at least the next month actually, but that's a story for another day. There's plenty of people complaining about the RTO for feds, et cetera, et cetera. But more on that in a future post. But this should give us reliable connectivity to the furthest end of the house. Call me old-fashioned, but I still think that there's no substitute for a wired connection, just in terms of just reliability. Yeah, I know you can get really good speeds with 5G, et cetera, and some of the newer Wi-Fi standards, but I just still think that if you want reliability, wired is the way to go. And here you go. This is what it looks like. So I will connect this, and I'll let you all know how it goes. And I'm very curious to see how effective it is. And part of the thing that makes me wonder, am I going to need a router on the other end? Not a router, but a switch on the other end. Could use a router, which means I have to find, I have a bunch of spare ones. And I have to find one. And hopefully we'll get a nice solid speed connection between this. This says it'll support up to 2.5 gigabit, which should be more than enough than what she needs. Our outbound connection is only a gigabit, right? Our outbound connection is that fast, and I'm hoping that she'll get really good speeds over this connection because basically the media server, the Synology, and kind of all the stuff that I'm setting up here behind me, and the LLM server. Actually, the LLM server is over there now. She'll have fast access to that, as would the kids, because if this works, I'm going to get another one, and then maybe set it up over there, or have some kind of reliable, maybe move the head master or the head mesh node upstairs or somewhere more central. So we'll have a better kind of connectivity to the house. And generally the connectivity to the house is pretty good with the mesh network. I'm very happy with it, but it's just every once in a while it'll just bottom out, and I'm not really sure what that is. I've done the usual checking, right? I've been able to check. It's not related to the microwave being on. Every once in a while, the individual nodes do have to be plugged in and restarted. Maybe that's the cause. I don't really know. And with this here, hopefully I will not have to think about that at all. So with that in mind, wanted to kind of show you all impactquantum.com. I do need to work on the site. I love and hate WordPress at the same time. Um, and this is the new logo that we have. Can I open? I can't open the image in a new tab. There's the new logo. Got a lot of cool stuff going on. And if you've been watching Frank's World TV, you know that I've been doing a lot of content there. Oh, there I am. That's past me. Hello, past me. Greetings from the future. If you look at the shorts that I've been creating, I've been actually doing these these audio and videos of explaining complicated AI and quantum computing topics, but from the point of view of SpongeBob. And they've been very popular, actually. So thank you for helping make that a success. Thank you. It's nice to finally get the recognition and traffic on YouTube that I've so long desired. It's finally nice to get that, and you just can't beat consistency. I think that's the lesson I learned. And with that in mind, it is Friday, and I have some slides to work on because I'll be speaking at a conference Monday. And I'm really looking forward to that. Not looking forward to the travel, but because travel is kind of chaotic, but I am looking forward to speaking at this conference. And it's at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, it's a legendary school in terms of computer science. And in science fiction, I believe HAL 9000 was created there, according to the story. Mark Andreessen went there famously, and where he worked on the Mosaic browser. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully, I'll have nice weather. So signing off from Maryland. Want to wish you all a great weekend. And I'll let you know when I get this hooked up, and I will do speed tests to make sure that things are as fast as I anticipated. So thank you and enjoy your weekend. Maybe I'll stream over the weekend. Who knows? With that in mind, I'll play the fancy outro graphic.